I started with a very small number. I started with 200 birds and they were broilers. I wanted to rear them for meat and then sell them and get bigger. Welcome to Emerge Integrated Farm. Erinnya lyange nze Mrs. Rachel Chibwika. Emerge Integrated Farm is a mixed farm. Emerge Integrated Farm is now 6 years old. It's a family project owned by Professor Nemuchala Chibwika and family. Mwami Chibwika is an agriculturist, started in 2017. We rear and also do plant husbandry. We have chicken, we have goats and cows. These chicken are from different countries. I have a set from Kenchik, I have a set from Turkey, another set from Belgium. They are in different stages. What prompted us to rear is because we got water. It's underground water, it's very clean, so that's what really encouraged us to do the rearing of this chicken. You know, chicken like nice clean water, and that's when we got the water, we went into this business. It has been good so far. I have no challenges, I would say. We have 3 types of chicken. We have the layers, we have brooder now, then those ones that have just left the brooder, and I have 3 sets which are laying now. One set is from Belgium, another set is from Kenchik, and another one is from Turkey. I started with a very small number. I started with 200 birds and they were broilers. I wanted to rear them for meat and then sell them and get bigger. If I sold those birds, I was already motivated. They told me, if you want eggs, you have to decide now whether to specialize in eggs or chicken. So I wanted the egg. I bought layers. There were 500 layers that I started with. So for beginners, 500 is a good number to start with. I started it myself and I was learning on the job. Of course, I made so many mistakes, but at one time I got there. Good enough, I didn't have a lot of casualties, but it was a bit expensive because like I gave pellets for a longer period of time. They ought to have left the pellets at 2 weeks. I gave them up to 1 month. So whenever you do things without knowledge, you incur some costs, but it was okay. Number one with agriculture, especially the poultry keeping, number one, you need clean water. I told you that what motivated us to start rearing chicken because we got clean water. You need to have the money to feed them. If you underfeed them, they will not lay. If you don't give them the right medication, they will get sick and die. So you have to have the money. And above it all, you have to have the passion for them because you have to be with them. You have to know, you have to see, you have to hear what noise are they making, how are they looking. You should have the passion for agriculture before you go into it. Otherwise, if you are going to be a telephone farmer, how are they doing, what, you won't get anything out of them. You need to be there physically. If we talk about egg production, the birds should be healthy. They shouldn't be sick. There are certain diseases which are silent killers. Number one, they are moths or mites, obulolo. They can get into those birds. They are eating, they are feeding well, but they will get sick. They will lose blood and the production will go down when you don't know. And you'll wonder, why are they doing badly? They're not laying properly, but inside them there are those mites. Number two, these birds are laying every day. They need vitamins and calcium supplements on top of the food we are giving them. You should give them supplements so that they lay. Number three, any other diseases like Newcastle, they get flu and cough, so you should really watch out for those diseases. And above all, sanitation. The poultry house should be clean. If they are dirty, they won't lay. And the other thing is, when we started laying, because we had local chicken here, which were on open range, when we started having these chicken, we had to do away with all of them. Because when they're out there on open rearing, they gather a lot of disease. So they should not be near and interact with these ones. So we had to do away with the local chicken. Yeah, the water system is very delicate. If you don't do it, you see the pipes are closed, but inside them there is algae, and it can really affect the egg production. These pipes are cleaned every month, at least once a month. We clean through the pipes. Now here we are from the brooder. From the brooder, we bring them here. Like you can see them. They stay here up to 2 months. Here We vaccinate them against Newcastle disease, infectious bronchitis, fowlpox. Then after fall typhoid, then we transfer them to the cages, making them ready to start laying. The feeds at this age, we are still giving them the chick mash. Of course, we mix in different stages depending on the weeks. Yeah, you see the way we put these feeders, we suspend them above the ground because we don't want them to make the feeds that if they were put on the ground, they would eat and sleep in their feeds. But we suspend them a bit so that the feeds are kept clean. Even the water, we put it slightly up so that they don't make the water dirty. Now here is another set of layers. These ones are from Turkey. So far so good, we've not had any challenges with them. The last cage is where we are going to put the other ones that are 10 weeks from now. I prefer layers to any other birds because the layers you hit 3 in 1. Number 1, you get the eggs. After getting the eggs, you sell the layer itself, you get the money from it. And then we have also the manure for the gardens. So I really love these ones. Of course, the broilers take a shorter time to grow and all that, but they also have their challenges. Sometimes the market is over flooded that when they are ready to sell, you sell them cheaply. But with the layers, you can never go wrong. You will sell the eggs and sell it after 2 years. If it is handled properly, well fed, you give it the supplements, can lay for over 2 years. I had a set that laid for 26 months. They were from Yuga Chick. They laid for some time, and by the time I sold them, they were at 40%. That's when I sold them, but they were still looking good. Of course, when the birds are treated well, they lay from 18 months onwards, up to 2 years, they can lay. Like I told you, you have to be in these birds to know that they are sick, they are not eating well, one is dozing, there is diarrhea. We have to look down to see the droppings. How are they looking? Is it green? Is it brown? Is it normal? So when you are in poultry, you have to really observe, because they don't talk, but they communicate. The sound they make will tell you whether they are sick or they are not. If they don't eat well, you know there is something wrong. If the droppings are green, if the droppings are brown, you know there is something wrong with them. We really thank God. The market, we cannot even satisfy it. People come for the eggs here on the farm. People come for the birds here on the farm. If it's time for off-laying them, we just make adverts, and within a short time we shall get people to buy them. We've not had a problem with marketing, but we have between 90 and 100 trays of eggs a day. Of course, you can't compare. These two are not comparable. The deep litter is really tiresome. You have to carry the water into the deep litter. Like you found other drinkers didn't have water. That's very challenging. Sometimes they get tired and they forget even to put the water. But this system is automated. The water is continuously being supplied. The feeds are there all the time. And cleaning is also easy. We clean this house once a week. That's when we remove all the litter and take it for disposal. And also in terms of disease management, when they are on cage system, we minimize the diseases. For instance, there are certain diseases that come with the deep litter system. The cough, the flus, we don't get them. Then drinking dirty water from the drinkers, we minimize such things like disease. There are different cages. For instance, this cage here is supposed to have 1,640 birds, this unit. So I have different units. And you can see each cage has 4 birds. I really advise people to come into agriculture. No wonder I'm encouraging my boys. Why should one look for a job if you can do such a thing? The challenge with our youths is that, of course, they're just from school and they may not have the money to do such a thing. But if there is money, this is something they can do. It's stress-free. You do it at your own convenience, and you would love it. I got into this business with little knowledge, but with time I've acquired a lot. I've learned a lot from this business, and I would be very willing to coach and to train anybody who is interested in getting to know this business. But what I can tell you, it's a good business, it's worth doing. So here at Emerge Integrated Farm, the poultry section, the way we handle our feeds. Number one, the feeds have to be a distance from where the poultry farm is to manage diseases and contaminations. The distance we move from where the chicken are up to the farm. It's a trick for managing disease and any contamination with the feeds. The feeds, we mix them ourselves. This is our mixer, and the other one is our milling machine. When we get the maize, we mill it into broken maize ourselves here, and then we mix with the concentrate. Maize, most times we grow it. I have my boys. I don't grow maize myself as a business, but I have a staff of about 50 workers, and like one of the motivation for them is that they grow maize and I buy it from them at a reasonably fair price. Remember, the land is mine, so I tell them to grow as much as they can and then they sell it to the farm. We also get maize from the neighborhood. Our trick is we buy maize when it is in plenty. And when people are saying maize is at 1,000, it's now 1,500, 1,200, for us we already have our stock, you can see. I buy tons and tons, enough to take me to the next harvest. Like I told you, here at Emerge, we plan our feeds depending on the season of harvest. When it is harvest season, we buy the maize. Remember, at that time it is fairly priced. We take advantage of those good prices and we stock the maize, which will be enough to take us until the next season. The main ingredients of the mash are mainly four. There is the maize bran, then the maize itself, which we crush into broken maize, and then the concentrate, which we use cowardice, our chief supplier, and then we also have the lime, which we also get from cowardice. Lime is for, you see, the birds use a lot of calcium. Calcium is lime. The shell needs calcium. The bones themselves, the whole process of producing that egg, the chicken have to need a lot of calcium to make the egg. The egg shell and themselves, as in their health, they need calcium. About the feeding schedule, we feed these birds twice a day. We feed them very early in the morning at 6:30. I thank my boys, the devoted team. By 6, they are up preparing to go and feed the birds. They get the feeds at 6:30, and then we get the second meal at midday, around 12 to 1. That's when they get the second meal. Thereafter, we leave them to stay on water until the following day. Yeah, the advice I can give to somebody getting into business of poultry laying, number one, you have to have the passion for the business. Number two, we get into groups. These days we have the WhatsApp. We form groups and share the challenges, and then also advise different things, how the market prices and all that. So you have to have the passion for the business, number one. Number two, you need the capital, because it's challenging to rear a bird from day one up to 4 months. You are putting in, but you are not getting out anything until those 4 months. And even when they begin, first of all, you have to, in the beginning, they will cover the feeds. It will be a while, maybe like at 6 months. That's when you start getting some profit out of it. You should like them. Number 4, you should really have good workers, because you won't always be there full time, but you need a good workforce, motivated and faithful, trustworthy, because it is tempting. They may want to sell the eggs, they may want to sell the chicken. They should really be good, kind, motivated, and trustworthy. Emerge Integrated Farm is located in Luweero district, Chichusa sub-county. The village is called Gambirana. That's where we are located. If you want to go into business, like I told you, at Emerge Integrated Farm, like I told you, Professor Chibuika Paul is an agriculturalist. He's very ready and very handy. Just give him the time. He's a good coach, he's a very good trainer and a motivator of agriculture.